What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new tactic. Today we have got the Bodø Glimt tactics as requested. Apologies for the delay, and if you do enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Today we're going to test with three very different teams, including the big team as mentioned. And yeah, let's get cracking. So first off, you know where we're going. And where we are going is over to big Bodø Glimt. Now, I will go and say one thing. We are also testing with Chelsea and Colchester. So the timings of the seasons were different, and unfortunately, I've overshot it a little bit, and we have done just over a season with the big team. Now, I will show you this because obviously we are a dominant team in Norway, but these are the results for the first season. Absolutely flawless apart from one game there in the Premier League, a 1-0 loss. In the next season, we are currently 9-0 in terms of the league, an invincible run, but we have battered a couple of teams here quite badly. We have done an absolute masterclass. Now, to show you roughly how the actual league table looked last season, let's go and have a little gander. So last year, we are looking at 25 wins, 4 draws, and 1 loss. A very, very, very strong season. And if you actually take an average from the schedule there, of the goals that we scored, it averages out at roughly about 3.8 goals a game. Now, the data hub is from the 9 games we have played, so you can't really take that 100%. So I've also taken an average for the goals conceded, and it's roughly about 0.79. So you are going to have a nice cushion compared to goals scored and goals conceded. The pass completion is actually quite accurate from this season, and also the shots per game. So roughly a very, very, very good season. And we also went on to win the Norwegian Cup, as you're going to see very shortly by showing the past winners against Brann in the final. So a very, very good season. I do apologise that it's been shown like that, but of course when you test with different teams, I usually put in a date to Simtil, and yeah, it's not worked out great, but we can still get a rough idea. But any Bodø Glimt fans out there, I do apologise about the delay. It took a long time to research the system, I will be honest, so hopefully I have done you proud. I do love my Norway viewers. Let's go and have a little look at some in-game highlights. And we are going to go right over and have a look at this game against Molde. A 4-0 win, by the way. So a very, very good start to life in this second season, and a cracking finish there to cut in from the right. Now, what I love about this system is how the wide players actually get involved, because you can say that in any system they get involved, but in this one they really do get involved, and it's a mixture of cutting in and short pass and play and going more direct there. And not only does the play happen from the right hand side, we can now also see it originate from the left hand side as well, with a little bit of cutting action going all the way. Look at this, absolutely beautiful with a wonderful finish. And that's the other thing you get with this. You get confident team, you get confident players because they're allowed to express themselves. And do you know what? This is against one of the better teams in the league, so this actually meant quite a fair bit to me as we actually go to win 4-0. And then we go over and test with Coventry, obviously in the Sky Bet League 2. I'm a bit of a challenging team to play with, but we do get the job done more than comfortably. Unfortunately, we don't win any other trophy in this season, but do you know what? Just getting promoted is absolutely incredible, because I believe they're predicted to finish around about 11th, so we have really overachieved with 41 wins, 3 draws, and just 2 losses. A ton of points and a real strong goal difference. Now, in terms of the actual league stats, we are going to take home the most goals, the most shots, the fewest shots against, and also the bottom 3 are very key. The fewest conceded, the most clean sheets, and the most dribbles being made. That is absolutely incredible. And I tell you what, the only thing we don't really take home is going to be the possession and the pass completion, because we can't really win this stat line because we're the ones with the ball, whether it be scoring or having a bit of possession. So I'm incredibly proud of this Colchester team. We have got the job done to a very high pedigree. Now, in terms of the data hub, we can of course go and have a look at 2.91 goals a game, 0.7 conceded, just over 20 shots a match, which is pretty decent, and a pass completion which is looking very nice. So overall, the grand scheme of things, this is really positive. Lastly, we're going to go over to the mighty Blues, up the Chelsea, and that is going to be a treble winning season where Cole Palmer done Cole Palmer things. We are going to win the Carabao Cup 5-1 over Aston Villa, the FA Cup 2-0 over Leeds, and as for the Premier League, we're only going to lose 1 game. We do draw 7 matches, but close, but not to an invincible season. Cole Palmer, your second top goal scorer. Drewsbury Hall and Nkunku in the assists, and Jorgensen picks up the most clean sheets. Now, with this one, I'm gonna flex it a little bit. The defensive record, guys, was absolutely incredible with this Chelsea team. Now, they have got some pretty good players, and the thing that I noticed with Chelsea is we didn't score as many goals. It's actually quite close with Tottenham, but defensively, we were so much better than the rest of the pack around us. So a real strong season for everybody in the blue shirt. And going to the data hub, we can go and see 2.32 goals per game, 0.37 conceded, a solid pass completion, and a good amount of shots per game. So although we're not talking 4 or 5 goals a game, it's more than enough to get the job done, because in the Premier League, we actually were quite more on the defensive side, to be honest, and hitting on the counter, getting the job done, and to win a treble, well, you can't really query too much. But right then, over to that Carabao Cup final. Now, we did get off to a great start here. In around about, well, literally under 2 minutes, Cucurella cuts it inside, and that is absolutely incredible. Now, this game, after the next goal that goes in, because I believe it was Rodgers that got the goal, this is where the game actually was quite open. It was a pretty decent run there. Rashford finds Marlon through into Rodgers. It's really good play. I'm not going to critique it. This is where the final was close, until I call it the Villa collapse. We get a penalty before half-time, elegantly placed in the bottom left from Cole Palmer, and from this point on, this is where the game broke down, because we have got my new set pieces loaded in, and we're scoring goals, we're having fun. At this point, we're 3-1 up. We then go 4-1 up, literally about 5 to 10 minutes after, for another set piece. Aston Villa not switching on at all. And at this point of the game, a 3-goal cushion. We're now going to go make it a 4-goal cushion. This game didn't really feel like a 5-1, but I'll take the scoreline. Now, of course, over to your favourite part of the video. That is going to be the tactic breakdown. If you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And once again, make sure you are coming on over to Daily Josh, because we have got a Glimt rebuild coming up after this video on the second channel. So please make sure you go and check it out, especially if you like that sort of content, because if there's any passionate fans, you get to see your team played over 5 to 10 seasons. So make sure you go and give it a little watch. But to make this tactic back home, you want to click this. That is going to be the fluid counter-attack. For me on the video, I'm going to create your own style so I can talk it through. But for you back home, fluid counter-attack, just to make that very clear. And simply load in a 4-3-3 DM wide. And now we have done that, we can start to assemble the tactics. So bottom left, we are going to go from balanced all the way up to positive. Nice and simple, but we are going to play quite a positive side of football. That was quite cringe, but it is what we are going to be doing, so make sure you've got that applied. The goalkeeper is going to be a sweeper keeper, simply set to defend. Again, no real custom instructions required for the goalkeeper, because we don't really need him to do anything too crazy, to be honest with you. When it comes to the centre-backs, we are going to use a bit of a mixture. So on the left-hand side, we are going to use a ball-playing defender, simply on the default, and on the right we are going to have a central defender. So one of them is going to be the more confident player with the ball, so just make sure that player is in the right position, because obviously as a ball playing defender does by default, he will be more risky with the passes. So make sure you've got your best passer in that role, because it's an easy mistake to make, and I want to make sure, especially the new players that have come to this game, I've got a lot at the moment on the channel, that you are just them little things you are getting right, because anyone can make the mistake, so don't feel bad, but just a little heads up. When it comes to the wing back on the right hand side, we are going to have him set to support, and we are going to add a couple of instructions. That is going to be run wide, close down more, and also tackle harder. A little memory refresher again. If you're saying, Josh, I can't close down more, you need to actually clean slate the tactic so you've got nothing selected here, because otherwise it will interfere with the player instructions you can use. So basically, do the player roles first before you tinker with anything else, Going over to the left back, we are going to use another wing back, simply set to support, and he also is going to have exactly the same instructions. Run wide, close down more, and also tackle harder. So these wing backs will provide a certain sense of aggression, and they will win the ball back and really work hard for the team. And also, alongside of that, they'll go up and down the pitch, they'll create chances, they'll get involved. So the wing backs are heavily important in this. Maybe not as important compared to a Xabi Alonso tactic where they are literally everything, but they do play their fair share of importance in this system. Going over to the midfield, we are going to use a DM on support, and he is going to have a couple of instructions, that consisting of shooting less and also tackling harder. Again, I don't really want him taking shots. I want him to be a protector, sit quite deep, put in a challenge and win the ball back, and then we can progress up the field as we wish and as we plan. Going over to the man next to him, we are actually going to have a box-to-box on support, and he is simply going to be told to tackle harder. Again, a lot of people get twisted with this. They think if you don't have get forwards on, they won't get forward. They will get forward. It's a box-to-box. Don't get me wrong, having getting further forwards on will encourage it, but I don't want him doing it all the time. So for me, just the one instruction, simply tackle harder. On the right-hand side, we are going to use a CM on support, and he is going to have 2 instructions, and this player, I do want getting forward quite a fair bit, so that also will explain why we don't have it on the box-to-box. This player also has tackle harder on, by the way, as a little heads up. I do want to quickly say at this part of the video, if you are interested in getting all of these wonderful perks, that does include these 3 tactics, but all of my year tactics. You get them on console, on mobile, all of my rebuild files, Wonder Kid shortlists, also the rebuild tactics, one-on-one tactical help, access to big monthly giveaways. We're currently running a £1,000 giveaway split between 10 winners, and that is because you guys are incredibly generous to me, and I love to give back. As long as I can, I will give back. So genuinely, much love to you for every single thing you do. Watching the video, leaving a like, subscribing, it absolutely means the world to me. It honestly does. And the fact that we've still got this support shown at this stage of the game, it honestly means so much. So that little speech aside, let's carry on and finish this tactic, because that's why you're here today. So the front 3, we are going to have a winger on support, and he is going to have some instructions that is going to be consisting of cutting inside, getting forwards, roaming, and also tackling harder. Again, with this player, I want him to be quite fluid. I want him to be roaming, taking up different areas, but also very important that he does come inside, because the wing back will overlap, so we need him to be quite narrow and, you know, being a little bit sort of tucked in so the wing back can overlap. When it comes to the left hand side, we are going to use an inverted winger this time, who is simply going to be set to support, and he also is going to share some key instructions, that being get forward alongside of roam and also tackle harder. So actually the same instructions almost as the right hand side. And lastly, to finish it off, we are going to have a pressing forward simply on attack as the last player role. In possession, let's go over and let's talk a little bit of business. Just a little memory refresher for myself. We are going to go with fairly wide. We are also going to play out from the back. We're going to play for set pieces. Make sure you got mine installed. We're going to run at defence. We are going to deploy the higher tempo, and the passing goes down by 1 to shorter. So nice and simple to copy. In transition, we are going to counter press, counter, and also distribute quickly. Again, pretty simple to copy, nice and quick. Now, the idea behind this, in terms of not having a favoured distribution type or area, is because we actually have quite a lot of forward runners. So the midfield players, for example, is going to be a key area to play it to. So that is why we've not just left it just to the back line, because sometimes we got goals from actually going a bit more direct and playing to either the wide players, the midfielders. Basically, keep your options open in this system. And lastly, out of possession, we are going to go with the mid block, the standard line alongside of get stuck in, and the trigger press goes up by 1 to more often. Now, if we go over, let's go and talk business with the attack conversion. Attack conversion actually is quite vital, because sometimes there wasn't enough firepower in the default, and that little buff up of certain player roles and instructions really did come into play. Now, let's go over and talk about it. So the goalkeeper does remain the same. The ball player and the central defender also remain the same. The wing back on the right and on the left are both now on support on take more risks, dribble more, run wide, stay wide, close down, and tackle harder. So really adding to their attacking side of the game. The DM, gone. We are going to introduce a DLP on tackle harder. The box-to-box is now on get forwards and tackle harder, and the CM now on attack on take more risks, dribble more, roam, move into the channels, close down more, and also tackle harder. The front 3, everyone is now going to be on attack. The inverted winger on attack, on roam, and tackle harder. On the right, cut inside, roam, and also tackle harder. And to finalise it, we are going to go with the pressing forward simply on attack. So just off the player roles alone, there are a lot of changes, but also into the team instructions, there are going to be some. Now, firstly, fluid counter remains. Secondly, positive mentality also does remain the same. So let's go over and talk about this. We are going to play out from the back, overlap left, overlap right. We are now going to add a couple of things that do make the tactic just a little bit different. and that is going to be more expressive and run at defense. Now, this really does allow for the players to have that more creative freedom, really send it and really go for the attacks, which is why I wouldn't actually recommend playing this from minute 1, because it's actually quite nice to have almost as a safety box. You can go into it, pull it out, and completely change the game. If you start with this, you can't really go more attacking, so I'd start with the default and use these next 2 variants to sort of use to your advantage when you need to do so. Obviously, the attacking one is to get goals. We are also going to keep playing for set pieces. The passing does remain the same. The tempo goes to a maxed out. In transition, counter press, counter, and also distribute quickly, and this time, just take short goal kicks. Lastly, when it comes to the outer possession, we are going to go with the mid block, the higher defensive line, step up more, get stuck in, and simply max out the trigger press to much more often. The defensive version is more of a calm, composed, sit-back counter-attack vibe that still will play for set pieces, very similar to the Thomas Frank theme we went down, of where we completely sort of changed it for the defensive one, made it quite a standard tempo, hit on the counter sort of vibe. So the goalkeeper and both of the centre-backs do remain the same. The wing-backs on the left and on the right are both now on support, on shoot less, tackle harder, and also mark tighter. The DM comes in on defend, on tackle harder. We introduce a ball-winning midfield player, simply on support and hold position. A central midfield player comes in on the right on support, more direct passes, get forwards, close down, and also tackle harder. The winger on the right is also going to be on support, cut inside, get forwards, roam, and also tackle harder. The inverted winger, get forwards, roam, and tackle harder. And the pressing forward does remain exactly the same. What doesn't remain the same is we are now on a balance mentality, and there are going to be some key changes. For example, passing to space is going to be deployed. We are still going to play for set pieces. This time, passing up by 1, tempo remains the same. And we are going to run at defence, because we are now going to be this sort of regroup team and then bang on the counter. So the run at defence does really, really help with the counter sort of style. And if you're not playing this way, and for example you go hold shape, you're not going to have the chance of scoring goals. And I'm not saying that is going to be an issue, but personally for me, even if I'm playing defensively, I still want the shot of getting goals, and we are going even more direct by taking long kicks as well. And lastly, out of possession, we are going to deploy the high press with the lower defensive line alongside of get stuck in and also a maxed out trigger press, because we still want to keep the press up, and that is going to give you 3 versions of the Bodø Glimt setup. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Again, apologies for the delay. I really do apologise, but there's tons of suggestions coming in. I do my best, but obviously I want to release a tactic that I'm proud of and hopefully you also enjoy. And again, any big fans, please leave a comment below, because I'll be honest, I've watched a couple of games this season and I was thrilled with what I saw. So genuinely, must have been a great season for you back home. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.